Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Lauren Jackson. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
On campus today, a peaceful protest held by the Hispanic American Student Association took place across campus in regards to a change in policy that affects the Hispanic community. UCentral reporter Michaela Kraus has more.
I'm here at the UCO College of Liberal Arts, where the Hispanic Student Association is about to embark on a peaceful protest, protesting against policies on the state and national level that they say unfairly target the Hispanic community. The event held a moment of silence for Jocelyn Rojo Carranza, the 11-year-old girl who took her own life after being bullied over the immigration status of her parents.
Left alone, she made a heartbreaking decision to take her own life. On February 8th, she passed away, leaving behind a family and community who loved her deeply. Her story is a painful reminder of how words and actions can deeply affect others.
Hispanic UCO alums gave speeches about their personal experiences with immigration and U.S. citizenship and their concerns for the future.
For the past years, I have never seen injustice to this degree. I have never been this scared or this angry.
One speaker, Fernando Baquera, promoted a recently created hotline for reporting ICE sightings in Oklahoma City.
You'll call the number, someone from our team will go over there, and we will yell your rights.
The event ended with a peaceful protest on campus grounds. Reporting for UCentral News, I'm Michaela Kraus.
The University of Central Oklahoma has recently received the Research Colleges and Universities designation by the American Council on Education and the Carnegie Foundation for the Achievement of Teaching. This recognizes UCO as a national leader in undergraduate and graduate research. UCO was also one of 216 non-research universities nationally that spent more than $2.5 million on research annually. UCO President Todd Lamb expressed his excitement for the honor in a video sent to faculty and staff.
Thank you, faculty, thank you, staff, for what you do every single day, meeting our students where they are, transforming them in the classroom, and in so many instances, leading them and working with them in research to make them a better student, a smarter student, and productive once they leave the Bronco family.
New details on a fatal stabbing at an Edmond apartment on Danforth were released today. 2 people have been arrested in connection to this incident. Joseph Jones, who turned himself in, and Kiara Barden, who was located with the help of the U.S. Marshal Services. Edmond police responded to a stabbing in the parking lot of Rolling Green Apartments earlier this week. Officers say Darren Johnson was attempting to visit his child when an altercation broke out between him and his child's mother, Kiara Barden, and her boyfriend, Joseph Jones. Johnson was then struck by Jones in the chest with a kitchen knife. Johnson then ran across the street to a nearby gas station where bystanders tried to help. Johnson was transported to OU Medical Center where he later died. Charges against Jones and Barden are still pending review. Now back here on campus, we've seen some sunny skies and some warm weather. Let's toss it to Gwyneth for our first look at weather.
Thank you, guys. And looking at the radar right now, we have some clouds moving out of the state, and that cold front is moving southeast, kind of sweeping along. It's definitely bringing some high winds, though. As we look outside, you can see those clouds are moving out of our state, but it's going to make for a really pretty sunset when that sun finally goes down. As we look at those wind gusts, if you walked on campus today, you definitely felt it and you definitely noticed because our gusts were as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds started switching at noon, and it definitely didn't feel too good out there. We're sitting at 59 degrees, and we do have an elevated fire threat issued by the National Weather Service because of those high winds and that low humidity. It's just the perfect storm for something like a wildfire to really start up. As we look ahead, we have those high winds today that are going to last into tomorrow night, and then they're going to start to move out by tomorrow morning. Severe thunderstorm potential is going to be really high Saturday night through Tuesday. You're going to want to keep an eye on that because I'll touch on that later in the forecast. Our temperatures are going to remain high until next Wednesday, though, when we're going to get another cold front similar to this one. That'll bring our temperatures down just a bit, but not too much to really do any damage. As we look at that current wind gust map, we're looking at some really high wind gusts across Oklahoma, and you definitely felt it. I probably didn't even need to show you this map because it was so windy in Edmond today. I'll have that for forecast about what we're going to see with that severe weather later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. Top administration appointees gathered at the White House this afternoon for the first cabinet meeting of Trump's second term. Elon Musk was also in the room as the White House says secretaries take the advice and direction of DOGE and are working on Musk and his efforts to reduce the size of federal government.
New data points to consumers feeling anxious and economic uncertainty ahead. What does a less confident consumer mean for the overall economy? Karen Kaifa is in Washington with the Outlook.
Consumers feel less confident, according to two closely watched surveys.
There was a broad agreement that the economy is not necessarily going in the right direction.
The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index for February saw its largest monthly decline since August 2021. And the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index dropped to a 15-month low. Michigan's Joanne Shu said tariffs and inflation are top of mind.
A lot of consumers are spontaneously telling us that they're really worried that tariffs are going to lead to bad consequences for the economy. So if tariffs were taken off the table or if less aggressive tariff policy came to pass, I think that would certainly do a lot to make consumers feel better about the trajectory of inflation.
Stephanie Guichard, senior economist at the Conference Board, says their survey found consumers confident about keeping their job, but less so about finding a new one.
They're just thinking, if I want to change job or if my kid coming out of university needs to look for a job, it's going to be more difficult than it was like 6 months ago.
Economists see consumer actions as more crucial than their feelings.
Consumer spending generates over 2/3 of national GDP. So really, they're the backbone of the economy.
The nation's largest retailer, Walmart, is often seen as a consumer spending bellwether. They said last week their sales will slow this year, a signal that 2025 may be a rocky year for retailers. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
National parks are suffering from staff shortages due to federal layoffs that have been part of the effort by President Trump and advisor Elon Musk to downsize the federal workforce. The National Park Service, NPS, laid off 1,000 employees spanning across 63 parks nationwide on February 14th. Later that week, the Trump administration gave NPS permission to fill temporary seasonal positions that was put on hold due to the federal hiring freeze. The agency will allow 7,700 positions to be filled, which is higher than the past 3-year average. However, because of paperwork, background checks, training, and the search for housing, experts worry that the seasonal positions will not get filled. These staff shortages will put parks and visitors in danger because of the many services they provide, from cleanup to education.
Now, we've seen cold weather last week, hot weather this week, wind temperatures super high right now. Seems like the perfect recipe for a thunderstorm.
Seems like the perfect recipe, Denise. After the break, Gwyneth Enkelman will have our full update on weather.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
afternoon and welcome back, Broncos. Those clouds are moving out of the state as that cold front moves out as well, but that brought really high winds today. Looking outside right now, though, the clouds are pretty nice. They're looking pretty out there, but those temperatures are kind of low because of that. We're sitting at 59 degrees. We do have an elevated fire threat because of those really high winds, 35-mile-per-hour gusts, and you can definitely tell when you're out there, but that's really pushing those clouds out of the state, and by tonight they should be gone. Looking across our state right now, 67 degrees in OKC, 58 in Guyman, and 71 in McAllister. A lot colder than it was yesterday, but it's definitely feeling good for February in Oklahoma. As we go into tonight, the temperatures are going to drop quite a bit. We're going to be at 39 degrees, but it's better than below freezing. We are going to be partly cloudy still as those clouds continue to move out of our state, and that wind's going to drop down quite a bit compared to the 35 mile per hour. We're going to go down to 11, so it's not going to be as bad. But that humidity is going to rise a little bit more. It's not going to rise as much as we usually see because those north winds are really dry. They're not as moist as the south winds are that we're used to. So we really won't get that high on humidity wise. But looking across the state tonight, 39 degrees in OKC, 27 in Guyman, and 42 in McAllister. Pretty cold night, but it's not going to be too bad out there because we're used to the below freezing temperatures. Starting off at 7 a.m. tomorrow, 39 degrees. But those winds are going to stick around a little bit, and we're going to start to see wind gusts coming in. We're going to be at 35 degrees on our wind chill. You're definitely going to be able to tell. Bring a light jacket when you're going to your car in the morning because those winds are what's going to make it feel pretty cold at 7 a.m. But as we go to noon, though, it's going to be 61, and those winds are going to pretty much be non-existent. We're looking at 3 to 4 mile per hour winds, and in Oklahoma, that is nothing. You're not even going to be able to tell they're there. Tomorrow is basically today, but without the wind. So we're gonna, at 7 p.m., get to 60 degrees, really no clouds. It's gonna be pretty sunny out there. And overall, nice day tomorrow, 65 in OKC, 62 in Guyman, and 67 in McAllister. Just a really nice day tomorrow, temperature-wise, wind-wise, overall. As we move ahead, though, going into the weekend, I know I keep preaching that we're going to see some thunderstorm potential, but we really are. We're supposed to see thunderstorm potential Sunday to Tuesday. That's definitely keeps getting higher as we get closer to that. And as we take a look at that, Sunday rain chances from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I know that's a pretty broad spectrum time-wise. That's a 12-hour spectrum there. But as we get closer, it's only going to get more and more tedious and more. The forecast is going to tune itself up, but right now that's what we're looking at for our rain chances as we go into Sunday night to Monday. It's going to move over to the west a little bit, and northwest it's going to kind of shift out of our state. Looking at time-wise, so far this is what we know. Like I said, keep an eye on that forecast as we get closer to Sunday. Our peak times for when that scattered thunderstorm should hit the Oklahoma area is at about 12 a.m. So that's when that risk is really going to rise. And if you know Oklahoma, you know scattered storms means they could go anywhere and they could be in any way. So you're just going to want to keep an eye on that forecast as we get closer. And starting off tomorrow, 65 degrees on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny. Then Sunday, that's when we receive that thunderstorm threat. And then Tuesday, we do have another pretty big fire risk because those winds are going to rise once again. It's going to be about the same as it was today, except we're also going to have a potential for thunderstorms. Now, Shanice, Lauren, I know there's a potential for thunderstorms over the weekend. Did this ruin any weekend plans you may have had?
Well, for me, it hasn't necessarily ruined them, but made it more cozy, I should say. Staying inside and just having the rain fall, it's going to feel great on Sundays. How about you, Gwyneth?
Yeah, I definitely gonna do the same thing. Just sit down, do homework, and probably have the radar pulled up watching those storms roll in. Shanice?
I think I have to agree with both of y'all. I really just plan on getting my homework on this weekend, so it seems like I'll have the perfect cozy weather to do that. Thank you, Gwyneth. Coming up, find out why Drake canceled 4 of his tour dates.
And the details about Big Time's Rush in real life tour. Zach Sexton will have our social media breakdown after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man. Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Good afternoon, Broncos. My name is Zach Sexton with your social media update. In shocking news, earlier this morning, 39-year-old Gossip Girl and Buffy the Vampire Slayer star Michelle Trachtenberg was pronounced dead. She is known for her breakout role as a child star in Nickelodeon shows Clarissa Explains It All and The Adventures of Pete and Pete. The star is believed to have died of natural causes. She has recently undergone a liver transplant and may be experiencing complications. She was found around 8 a.m. by her mother in her New York City apartment. Big Time Rush announced earlier this week that they will be embarking on a 2025 In Real Life tour. This is not just any normal tour. They're tapping into all of your favorite childhood nostalgia. They'll be playing every song from every episode of their hit 2009 Nickelodeon show, Big Time Rush. The band is not going alone. They are also bringing along previous co-stars Caitlin Tarver and Stephen Kramer Glickman. Tickets are now available for purchase, and they will be performing in Oklahoma City on Wednesday, August 20th at the Zoo Amphitheater. This Sunday, the first episode of the new show, Suits LA, ran on NBC. The trailer for the show is on NBC's YouTube. The new show, following its predecessor, the hit 2011 show Suits, follows a new group headed by Ted Black, a New York prosecutor who started a law firm in Los Angeles. Even with the success of the original Suits, their reviews are looking pretty rotten. As on Rotten Tomatoes, they have rated it at 33% from critics. The next episode is set to run on NBC this Sunday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Central Time, and will be released on Peacock the following morning. In a turn of events, the music and rap star Drake has canceled the 4 remaining shows of his Australia and New Zealand tour. This is 4 out of 16 shows. A statement from Drake's management team said that it was due to a schedule conflict. They're also looking to add additional shows to the tour. His team stated that the tickets for the canceled shows will remain valid for future dates, and that refunds will be available for those who want them. But as the shows are sold out, the refunded tickets will be available for purchase. Today would be country music artist Johnny Cash's 93rd birthday. Cash was not only known for his country hits, but also his activism. Throughout his career, Cash would perform his songs in persons that would lead him to stand before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee in 1972 to advocate for prison reform. In 2003, Cash died, joining the Riders in the Sky. Shanice, Johnny Cash has so many monumental songs. What's your favorite?
I just got into country music. I just listened to him right before this newscast. I'm gonna say Walk the Line. What about you?
I'm gonna have to say Ring of Fire for me. It's a classic, but what about you, Lauren?
I would definitely have to say Hurt. Thank you, Zach. How many Broncos are all the double MIA wrestling team wins?
And who are the Oklahoma City Thunder playing tonight? Luke Underwood will have more after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet? 100 feet? The length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hello, Bronco Nation. I am Luke Underwood, and let's get straight into your Wednesday sports stories. The UCO wrestling team has been dominating all season, and they are still reigning supreme, with the MIAA Wrestling Awards coming out, and the Broncos packed those awards. The Broncos had 5 wrestlers named first team All-MIAA, with Stud Morris at 125 pounds, Dylan Brown at 149 pounds, Gabe Johnson at 157 pounds, Hunter Jump at 165 pounds, and Garrett Wells at 184 pounds. The Chos also had 2 second-team All-MIAA picks, with Josh Taylor at 141 pounds and Emmanuel Skillings at 197 pounds. Stud Morris was selected as MIAA Co-Wrestler of the Year, along with a wrestler from Nebraska Kearney. Also, Coach Todd Stidley was named MIAA Coach of the Year. The Broncos finished 5-0 to capture the conference championship for the 5th straight time. These Chos can now add even more to their year with these wins. The NCAA Division II Super Region 4 tournament is this Saturday, and the NCAA Division II Wrestling Championships are March 14th and 15th. So make sure to cheer on the team as they end out their season within the next weeks. The women's basketball team is kicking off their final week of the regular season with a matchup on Thursday night against the Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. The Lions are 17-9 overall with an 11-6 record for the MIAA, which currently puts them at 5th in the league standings and 5th in the KPI Key Performance Indicator standings. UCO is 7-19 overall and boasts a 6-11 record in the MIAA, which gives them 12th in the KPI standings. The KPI is being used to determine the top 10 teams to qualify for next week's MIAA Basketball Championships in Kansas City. The Broncos vs. Lions will be live from the Hamilton Fieldhouse at 5:30 p.m. UCO will also be hosting the Northeastern State Riverhawks. The Riverhawks are 10-16 overall with a 6-11 record in the MIAA that ties the Broncos. The game will tip off at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, but make sure to get there early because the Broncos before tip-off will honor 5 seniors in their final home game of the season. The UCO softball team ended the Washburn Invitational with 2 wins yesterday, beating Minot State 5-4 and Maryville 9-0. Yes, the Maryville Saints dropped a massive goose egg after a stellar performance by the Chos. In the first inning, Riley Lemos and Riley Anglin put the Broncos on the board with 2. In the second inning, the Chos put up 4 more on the score. The Chos would go on to add to the total in the 4th and 6th innings as well, giving them the 9-0 outcome. Pitcher Shelby Beard had an amazing game, extending her undefeated streak in games that she was pitching. The Broncos will be active this weekend with the Branson Showtime Classic. Hopefully, the Lady Broncos will be able to continue their incredible season throughout that tournament. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in Brooklyn tonight. The Thunder have had a softer opponent tonight with an injury-riddled Nets roster. The Nets' Nick Claxton will also not be playing tonight as he has been suspended for the game after his flagrant foul in D.C. The Thunder will be playing hard as they look to gain back some momentum after their loss on Monday. The Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Brooklyn Nets will tip off at 6:30, live from the Barclays Center. Now from the professional court to the high school court, the OSSAA 6A East and West brackets for women's basketball have been released. In the East, Edmond North will be facing Ponca City in the first round. And in the West, Edmond Memorial will be versing Capitol Hill. As well, Deer Creek will be showing down with Moore. And Edmond Santa Fe will be battling Norman North. A win will guarantee each team a spot in the area tournament. These games will be playing throughout tomorrow evening from 6 p.m. to late in the night. This is all I have for you now, so I'll toss it back to Shanice and Lauren at the desk.
Thank you. Coming up, where are you going for spring break? We will have a breakdown of the best places to visit.
And Gwyneth Duncombe will have our final look at weather after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills, rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places, open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
Welcome back. Spring break is coming for millions of students, and AAA has compiled a list of the top destinations travelers are booking. The time-honored tradition of heading to the Sunshine State is continuing. Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Tampa all made the top 10. Some people looking for an urban experience more than escaping the cold are heading to Chicago and New York. And if you're going overseas, no surprises there either. Top destinations include Rome, London, Paris, Barcelona, and Madrid. But for those who are also flying, it's going to have a cost. The average price for a spring break domestic ticket is $820, and for international travel, more than $1,400.
Wow, speaking of Orlando, I have been loving this Oklahoma heat. How about you, Shanice?
Absolutely. Y'all know I don't like the cold, for sure.
Yeah, well, Gwyneth will have her last look at weather.
Thank you, Lauren. Yes, and looking at tomorrow, we're going to start off the day pretty chilly, cold, 39 degrees. That wind, though, coming from the north is going to be at a wind chill of 35 degrees. So once again, if you're going out to work in the morning, just bring a coat, something you can shed easily because those temperatures are going to rise by 12 p.m. But starting off your morning and going to your car for your morning commute, it's going to be pretty cold. Going to noon, it's going to be pretty sunny. All those clouds are going to move out from today, so we're really not going to see much clouds tomorrow in the sky. But after 12 p.m., it's going to feel great. We're not going to see much wind. We're just going to see some really nice temperatures, and the sun's going to be out. It's going to feel like a great day tomorrow. That's all I have for your show today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you. Mama, you can go.
Thank you, Gwyneth. My name is Lauren Jackson.
And I'm Shanice Hopkins. Thanks for tuning in.